Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Lover's Latte. A delicate pink latte combining smooth coconut milk with rose petals, powerful herbal aphrodisiacs, and a touch of cocoa and spice. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies.
All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. I don't know which side it'll be on yet. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, it's Coleman Hell.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for stopping by, y'all. We're recording live-ish at the Holocene down in Portland. But Coleman, you're from way up north, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm originally from this place called Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Which no one has probably heard of.
It's a great day for Thunder Bay.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It has a cinematic feel to it. But I'm based out of Toronto now, and the same two bandmates here as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And just a couple quick questions, because I know we're trying to keep this tight because you got a show soon. What was like the thing that got you into music?
I think probably like the first kind of origin moment was my mom used to work at a music store, and she would dub these albums that would come in onto cassettes. Mm-hmm. Kind of, I think, probably illegally.
Okay. I mean, it was a gray area back then.
Yeah, so I would kind of rifle through these cassettes, and I discovered these bands like The Cars and The Police and Steely Dan and Queen and Prince and all these people.
Man, all the hits.
Yeah, and I just remember like listening to that music with my mom and like dancing in the living room and just really like feeling something very like visceral and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's probably that's probably when I fell in love with music, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like, was anybody in your household musical, like as an instrument player, or were you like the first generation of musician?
My uncle, and one of my cousins are both really good drummers.
Okay.
But no one outside of that. So yeah, and I never really had much of a knack for the drums. He tried to give me some lessons when I was younger, and it didn't pan out so well.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, as a vocalist, you're pretty strong, so it seems like that worked out.
Yeah, I started off. Probably the genre I've listened to the most in my life is like hip hop. Mm-hmm. So I gravitated towards that pretty hard, and I kind of just wanted to be able to say that I was part of music, like that I was a musician in some way. So I started just recording stuff in my bedroom, and then I did that for like a while actually, and then I started trying to sing, and but yeah, it was always just kind of like alone in my room, sort of like insular
Gotcha
thing. I wasn't always like collaborating with people or anyone in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then before we move on to more of the middle portion where we talk about what you're doing with music now, I have one foundation question that we ask every single guest every time. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
I don't know why it's not sticking out.
Or at least one of the earliest ones you can remember buying.
Yeah, I'm like fishing for it. It's weird because my parents had so much music that I listened to that music a lot before I think I bought anything of my own. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I remember like this is an obscure reference, mm-hmm. and maybe not very cool, but when I was like really young, I just remember really wanting this album by this Canadian pop band Sky. Mm-hmm. The lead singer has like since passed away, I think. So I think they only have one album. And this was in like the late 90s, I guess, probably, or And they had this song out, and I wanted the album so bad, but I guess the album wasn't out yet. So my parents just got me like a CD single of it, which was just like this song called Some Kind of Wonderful, and then Some Kind of Wonderful like radio edit or something. And I listened to it so incessantly that it like drove my family insane. They had to like take it away from me. I would just listen to that song over and over and over and over again. And I like came to call doing that, like one songing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had songs throughout my life, like Roxanne by The Police, or Jackie Wilson Said by Van Morrison, or like there's like these specific songs where I would become obsessed with them and listen to them over and over and over and over again. So it's like the first like piece of music that I really remember, like it felt like it was mine, and I listened to it a lot. And then I think like going into music, I strive to be like, can I make a song that like someone will get obsessed with? Like I love all kinds of music, but there's something special about like,
yeah, those ones that just kind of hit that plate.
Yeah, it's like you could listen to it on an infinite loop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mean, it feels like you've stayed very true to that.
Yeah.
We're doing a sound check in real time in the other room, y'all, so just in case you hear the noise.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've stayed really true to form on that. Your songs are really, that infectious is kind of a good word for them. They kind of live in that space, but they all seem to tell a little bit of a story, and I really appreciate that. But I'm curious to know, as we move into kind of more of the middle portion, because like the last main album you put out was in 2021, but you've done a lot of singles, you've done a lot of EPs, but you have a lot of work going all the way back to 2014.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a personal track, for me, it would be Real Me. That's the one that just speaks to me.
That's cool. That makes me really happy to hear.
But I would love to know, what is your favorite song to perform?
My favorite song to perform. Wow. I think It's hard to say. There's like a song that we perform in our set. This is kind of like more of maybe a silly answer, but it's the song called Show 'Em, which is like a 2-minute long rap song.
Mm-hmm.
But like that part of my life has been so pushed onto the back burner that like when I get to like rap in front of a crowd of people, and especially when they're like not expecting it, that always kind of feels really I don't know, gratifying to me, because I just love rap music so much. And then like I want to say something cool and obscure, and there are songs that I like much more than these songs, but like when I play any song that's kind of like struck a chord with a lot of people, like Two Heads or Fireproof or Devotion, and I have like a crowd of people all like singing the words back to me and stuff, there's like kind of nothing really compares to that. I wouldn't say those are my favorite songs I've ever wrote.
No, but
like it's just like there's something about performing a song that everyone knows in the room that is just like so like magical.
No, it feels like your voice suddenly gets like 10 times more powerful.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, now
But Real Me is that's a cool one, because I don't think we've really performed that one, but I really would like to, especially the ending part.
Yeah.
Feel really cool live, so I'm gonna like reconsider that now.
Hell yeah. Well, if you ever do, let me know. I would love to see at least a video of it.
Awesome.
All right, now we're getting the light that we got to wrap this up soon, but so I've got 2 more quick questions. One, the last time I got to speak to an artist that had over 1 million listens, I had to ask how they felt. You have a song with over 100 million listens.
Yeah.
What was that moment like? Like, what was it like seeing that number just happen?
It was in the moment, it felt really validating, because me and my best friend, goes by Latch, we wrote that song together, and we write pretty much all my music together. That's my main collaborator. And we wrote it, and when we like made it, we both like were like we were crying, and we got like goosebumps, and there was just like we just knew there was something about it. And we felt so strongly about it, and we brought it to our label, and they liked it, but they didn't like lose their minds. And then we like showed it to radio teams, and they were like, it's kind of slow, I don't know. And we were just like, are we crazy? Like, this is like the best thing we've ever did. This is insane. And then finally, when we put it out, it like it went viral. And like, I know that I've like had a couple like mini viral moments, but this was like the true, like, especially of this era. Like, I don't know if people go viral in the same way that this song did, but when that happened, it felt very overwhelming, but also it felt really validating because we were kind of like, we think that's going to happen before it happened.
Yeah.
And then I've had that feeling since and been completely wrong a bunch of times. So I don't think I'm like clairvoyant or anything, but there was something about just that one we knew and we were right. Or maybe we just, the right things align, because I think a lot of it has to do with luck, and I think it's not something you can premeditate or reverse engineer. But yeah, it was very, very crazy. And
yeah, I can't even begin.
I don't know
what it was like, but
and it's kind of like, it's sort of like, oh my God, will I ever top this thing? Like I still find success in what I do, and I have a lot of people that really resonate with me, but it was like a very like freak thing that happened. And I've had songs that have done really well since too, but not quite to that extent. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was a wild experience for like a very short not really that short actually. It felt like almost a year or something of it, where people just like couldn't get enough of this song. And I guess that was like the part that felt the best about it, because it was like that song I was telling you about when I was a kid. I was like, I think I made one of those songs. So that
very much so, and then some. All right, now I know we're getting late, but I've got one last question. If you could recommend one deep cut album to everybody out there to go listen to, one that's just super obscure but everybody should go listen to, what would your recommendation be?
I have to look this up because I don't know how to pronounce it. It is Wenn der Südwind weht, by this German artist named Rodelius. I'm gonna have to just like send you a screenshot.
I was gonna say, send me a screenshot. I'll put it on the screen. You'll see it on the screen by this point.
It's from like the 80s. It's like the first song on this album, mainly, is what I love about it. And I just, it's like an ambient synth album, but there's like one song I will just like listen to on loop. It kind of just sounds maybe like, if it's not your thing, it may just sound like music from like Animal Crossing or something. But there's something about the first song on this album. I like it all, but the first song is just like, it's like the perfect music to just like backdrop any kind of like mundane living moment with. And I will just like listen to that on loop forever, or listen to the record. But yeah, it's kind of a random pick maybe, but
oh yeah, no, that's the point of the question, so I really appreciate it. All right, y'all, well, we got to go ahead and wrap this up. Coleman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Coleman.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.